All right, let's begin. All right, today is April the 24th, 2015, and in front of me I have Kal Skeirik, who is 97 years old, and he's getting ready actually next month to turn 98. And I have worked through the years with thousands and thousands of people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. I even have a few people that I've worked with that have been over 100 years old. But Kal, more than anyone that I've ever known, stands out. I just can't believe how sharp his mind and how sharp his body is. And therefore, I thought he would be a fantastic person to interview in regards to wellness. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask Kal a series of questions, and he's just going to elaborate and tell me what he thinks about these different questions in relation to wellness, in relation to fitness. So Kal, my first question is, give me your thoughts on exercise and the importance of exercise in one's life.
Well, I've always had, three objectives in doing exercises. Before I get to that, though, I've always exercised ever since I was a child. And then into high school, I started track and played baseball. Then in college, I went into indoor track, outdoor track, and what's the matter with me? I can't remember. Cross country. So I stayed in shape, and I also played intramural basketball quite a bit in high school and college. But after I got married, I continued jogging when in the 50s, when nobody else was, very few people jogged. But my three objectives these days has been for some time are these. First, I want to exercise every joint and muscle in my body. I try to do that. Secondly, I want to make sure I vary my exercise with vigorous exercise and the regular types of exercises that you get on machines, and that's the vigorous exercises in order to stimulate the heart. The third one is something that came up some years ago. That's because of I've got a spur in the back of my neck, and I went to the doctor and he gave me neck exercises to do. This was back in the 1970s. I've continued to do that, and it eliminated the numbness that I used to get in my right arm. Also, I developed sciatica in the right leg, and he gave me exercises to do for that, leg exercises, and I still do those. So those are three objectives that I have tried to strive and keep doing. And in my exercises, of course, here I warm up in the bicycle for 5 minutes to get my legs warmed up. Then I go for a half hour on the treadmill, alternating walking and jogging. I use about 8 or 9 of the machines, and then I also lift weights and do a back exercise on the ball.
What about diet? What's your food intake? What types of food do you eat? Do you watch your diet?
Yes and no. The diet, I have to give credit to my wife. We eat everything in moderation. Way back when we first got married, we ate everything. However, I did put on some weight after I first got married because I guess I ate too much. But eventually went on a diet and got back to my normal weight. We eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, which I like, but we eat meat, potatoes, and I like French fries now and then, so we don't stop eating, but we don't eat these regularly. We try to balance our meals as much as we can, and that's, and the other thing is, I like a good hefty breakfast. I've always had a good hefty breakfast. Cereal, eggs, bacon, and fruit and or juice and coffee and toast.
Quickly, how do you prepare your bacon? You mentioned bacon. How do you prepare that?
My wife has figured out a way to drain out as much of the fat as possible. She puts it between two paper towels in the microwave, and it just drains out most of the fat, and it's very crisp. And I've eaten those all my life that way, ever since the microwave came out.
And right now, do you exercise every day? How many days a week do you exercise?
I exercise 3 times a week, but those exercises go for about, at least an hour and a half each time.
Okay. And what, in regards to wellness and taking care of yourself, you also have some other things that you do. One of the things you've told me about is you have a relaxation technique, a meditation technique that you do every day. Could you explain that?
Yes. I don't know when this started. I know I did it during the wartime. It came in very handy because the times when I did not have much sleep, I could even stand up or lean against something and just clear my mind for about 15 minutes, and I'm refreshed. Just to completely go out of it, seems to be. But my senses. Now, since the war, in the afternoons, sometime during the afternoon, I always took about 15 minutes to sit in a chair and completely relax my body from my toes from the tip of my toes, from the tip of my fingers. I relax my whole body, and then I place my mind in as blank a position as I can, almost a trance situation where I'm just, maybe half asleep, half something. But anyway, I'm just out of it for about 15 minutes. Then I'm refreshed. Now, in the past 2 or 3 years, the time has increased. So my relaxation is between 25 and 30 minutes at the most, but I wouldn't do it any more than that. But I felt that my body needed that much.
And you do that every day?
Every day, every day.
So every day you do this relaxation, meditation technique, and it lasts approximately about 20, 25 minutes?
Yes, right now it does, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Before I needed only 15 minutes. Now it's 25, even to 30 minutes sometimes.
How do you keep your brain sharp?
Pardon?
How do you keep your brain sharp?
Well, I'm very active. I've been very active, and still to some degree, in the church and here at Lakewood Manor. I participate in a variety of activities such as drama, and at church I was on a committee until recently this year. I'm still ushering and doing some other activities in the church where they need it. But in addition to that, I'm a writer. I like to write. I've written my World War II memoirs. I've written my father's memoirs, who was a Methodist minister. I'm working on my own memoirs now, and I've got a draft of, again, World War II memoir, World War II activity, which involved military intelligence, which I was in. I've got about 23 rough drafted chapters that I've got put aside because I wanted to finish my professional career. I also have done a lot of speaking, on the average of 3 or 4 speeches a year. Last year I did 2 of them. These are the sort of things that I stay busy in.
So you write every day for the most part?
I write every day, yes, when I have the time, yeah.
And how long do you write for usually?
Oh, usually between 2 and 4 hours.
Okay, so you'll sit at a desk between 2 and 4 hours and write.
Well, I get up and walk around every so often, though. That's right. 2 to 4 hours.
What about reading?
Yes, I save my reading until the evening. I read 2 newspapers, and I like to relax with a novel, but I also like to read a nonfiction book. usually a historical book. I'm particularly interested in American history and the wars.
So you're reading every day, and then you mix it up with fiction and nonfiction, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Kal, what do you think? Do you think there's any secret you might have to aging well? In other words, you're 97 years old in phenomenal physical and mental shape for your age. Do you think there's any secret to that?
I don't know. If there is, it's a combination of things. I can't put my one finger on any one point. Some people told me it's my genes. Well, that might be to some extent. But one, I've always exercised. Two, I think I have a lot to say that my wife, we've always gotten along. We've been buddies and friends. And she's a wonderful woman that I can really relax. I've never had any problems with that. I think that has a lot to do with it. She's also a good cook. She's cooked well. And I think another factor is very important to me is my faith. I've always had a belief in God, and I've been religiously oriented. I'm not a fanatic in it. I think I'm just average, but I do believe that through, again, meditation and prayer has helped me to keep a stabilized life.
Okay, and what I'm going to cut that right